Okay. All right, we're good. All right, I'm just gonna take a quick peek at the agenda, which I'm sorry, I sent out earlier this morning, but didn't seem to make it, so I sent it again just recently. So the first thing on the agenda is the approval of meeting minutes. I don't believe we have those completed, so we can always table that. Kathleen or Bill's not on the call, right? No. Hi, guys. I love it. Kathleen, you didn't get a chance to do those meeting minutes for March, did you?
Hi, I didn't do the March meetings.
Okay, no worries.
I did those, and I think she may have, let me see what you sent me.
If not, we can always table it.
I think she sent me some, I asked her, she just sent me something yesterday, but I'm not sure if they were from, where they were from. Hold on a second. Sorry, bear with me.
Oh, no worries. Take your time.
So the ones she sent me were from January, a draft.
Okay. Yeah, I think we approved those at the last meeting, so.
Okay, so I didn't get anything newer than that.
No worries at all. All right, so we'll just table that to the next meeting, so that's no problem. And then, since we have Janet very patiently on the call, we'll start with her and jump right into MHEC's new iBuy solution. So whenever you're ready, take it away if you want to share your screen. Oh, you muted.
Thank you. Yep. I
Okay,
always have to be reminded.
No.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to do this. I'm just going to kind of give an overview of what iBuy is, because we're going to offer training from the professionals. So this is going to give you a little bit of a hint of what it is and how to use it. So the reason we put iBuy together is our members we sent out a member survey about a year plus ago, and they said that they wanted a tool that was easily searchable, that they can also purchase from. So we did some extensive research and got into a collaboration with a company called Equal Level. And so it's powered by Equal Level, which has some Amazon technology behind it. How do you get there and all that? I'm going to get into that. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And what I'm going to show you is a 4-minute video because she can do it a lot quicker and better and cleaner than I can. And then hopefully you'll have some questions, and I'll have I'll integrate some stuff afterwards too. But I wanted to let you know this is sort of just a high-level overview. There will be training, and then in addition, there will be administrative training, so that if you have an administrative person who wants to set up multiple people with controls and transfer cards and all that, then that's going to be available. So I'll get started with this video and give me positive vibes so I can share it correctly.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
Looking good so far.
Okay. Can you see anything?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So can you see the video?
We can. You might want to maximize it if you can.
Oh, sorry about that.
She might have to click a thing for the sound.
Yeah, the sound won't come on. You have to click include computer audio when you share.
Where do I do that?
When you click the share menu, there's like a little button you have to press to include sound.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. Oh, man. See,
So you'll have to stop sharing and then reshare. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, God. I did not want to do this like this. Hold on, let me. All right, so. Where am I? Share. And where does that, oh, okay, I see. I missed that part. Okay, doesn't sound like I can't even hear it, so include computer sound.
Yep, make sure that's checked.
I guess it says I gotta go to your device audio settings. That's it. I'm gonna get off of this maybe. I'm sweating now,
It's okay, it's okay. Yeah, exactly.
and it's freezing in this house, so let's see.
No pressure.
It's not checking that sound there.
I can do it from mine. Janet, is that on your website? Maybe I can do it from my screen.
Yes, it's on our website. You have to log in, though.
I can do that.
I'm not sure why this is doing this. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing that until you,
No problem.
sorry about that.
No worries. Alright, so share.
That hasn't happened to me before, so I don't know if it's because I have my earbuds, whatever.
It didn't ask me for the sound now.
Yeah, you gotta check that. It's not gonna ask, it's just in the share menu. There's like a little button you press.
It's like yeah, you have to slide it.
Ah. Okay.
Okay, great.
Making purchasing simple for our members is an essential part of who we are at MHEC. Our new iBuy Marketplace lets you make your professional online purchases much the same way you would during a personal online shopping experience. There is no cost for members to use iBuy. First, go to mhec.net. If you are already an MHEC member, log in. If not, click here and follow the instructions. Then, click on the iBuy Marketplace logo. Anytime you would like to return to the iBuy homepage, click this logo. We've organized all of our MHEC contracts into intuitive, high-level categories expressed by these 16 icons. When you click on an icon, you will see all of the suppliers whose contracted products and services fall into that particular category. Some may be found in more than one category. You can get the same information by clicking on the tiles or the list of the same categories here. If you would like to view all suppliers, you can see them as a text list from A to Z or view them by their logos. Either view will allow you to filter on specific classifications of diverse suppliers. To find specific products and services, use the search bar or narrow down what you're looking for by using a search filter. Page appearance and the ability to transact business will change depending on the supplier's e-commerce capabilities. In this example, we'll go to the search bar, type what we're looking for, and hit enter. We will see a selection of what's available on the contract. Select the item we're interested in and click Add to Cart. To review your purchasing decisions, click View Cart. Here you will also be able to calculate shipping and tax by adding your zip code and hitting enter. Then you can choose a shipping method. If you're on a punch-out site like this one, you will need to click on the punch-out button or checkout button before placing the order. This will take you back to the iBuy Marketplace to complete the transaction. Next, select the checkout button from the iBuy Marketplace. This will take you to the shipping address and billing screen. Complete these sections and place the order. The Request for Quote option is available on all levels of e-commerce. First, select from our contracted suppliers. Click on Request Quote. That supplier is now listed under Invite. You can choose to send the same request to additional suppliers. Click Browse Suppliers. In the search bar, enter the name of another supplier and click Filter. Select that supplier. While you are still in the browser, you can type in another supplier name and click Filter. When you are finished adding invitations, close the browser. Complete the rest of the form and click Save and Submit. The supplier's responses will come to this platform. You can also access your quote history by clicking on Quotes in this tab or in the top navigation. In the general search field, key in the item, hit enter, and it will bring up what's currently available on the platform. Then, click in the boxes beside items you would like to compare. Your selections will appear above the available products. When you're finished selecting, click on the Compare Items button. In this example, you have choices from 3 different suppliers. Thank you for watching. If you need any assistance, we're here to help. Please try the new iBuy Marketplace on mhec.net. It's purchasing made simple.
Wow, look at this.
Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. So as you can, if you can see, that was a pretty down and dirty explanation of what this thing can do, but it's a very powerful tool. So, you know, I like the feature that you can get quotes in one fell swoop. So, so this is, you know, it was just rolled out in April. And so some of the suppliers are just coming up to the speed. The ones that are typically punch out suppliers are very easy to use because they always already have that platform. But a lot of our MHEC suppliers don't have that technology yet, but they have the capability to respond to the quotes. So there's different icons that will signify what the, you know, if they're available to quote. It's a little, well, I'm going to send you, Jennifer, that maybe you can share with your group the different frequently asked questions and, you know, just some easier ways to do it. But we do have a professional trainer on this. Well, not a professional trainer, but she's a contract manager that was handed this project. Along with Chris Raymond, who's our Director of Operations and Contracts, and he and the team have really worked hard to get this really up and running, and it's starting to take off. It's a slow process because, as you know, these things are a little slow to get going, and so I've been sort of going around to different campuses and different mostly associations, kind of saying, here's what it is. We're going to offer training in 2 levels. One would be, you know, basically an overview. It's more robust than this. It's examples of how you would go to, you know, somebody that doesn't have a punch out. It's going to go to, you know, because some of these people are small mom and pops, and they're just going to have a contact there that you can, but you can still get a quote from them on that site. Which I think is a powerful tool. If you need to get 3 quotes for something and you can just have 1 spec, you just click that and send it to the 3 supply, up to, I believe it's up to 5 suppliers that you can do it once. And then you can watch your history under the quotes and buying. So I would suggest, if you're going to get people that want to do this, that set a team together, and we'll get, you know, a separate meeting under admin, and they will show you all those tools. They have the oversight. I did one last week, and it's actually for the colleges of the Fenway, which has 5 schools locally, and they asked if they could have insight onto all of their schools, and I just said, I don't think so, because, you know, you're not a school, so I don't think they're going to give you permission to do that. However, they might, and so they kind of want to see what all the schools are buying, so they can share that data with the school once it's up and running, because they can't really they don't have that capability right now without a ton of effort. This is going to be the reporting capability is really good. You can search things. You can, you know, an admin person can, so there's different ways you can do this, but you could have somebody on your city, say facilities wants to put something through, but they don't have permission to buy yet, or they do. They can place orders immediately, or they can transfer their basket to somebody who has the capability to buy that product. So, you know, and that person would have oversight to what's available. So it's robust. We're not 100% there yet because it's early, and some of the, like I said, some of the suppliers are a little different. The pages are going to look different. Punch outs, you're used to them. It's like an Amazon experience. And then there's others that are, you know, just basically not ready yet. The payment goes to the supplier. It does not go through MHEC, but it's got security that's, you know, that Amazon uses. So it's robust security. Yes, you can get a quote. I don't know. We kind of glazed over that diversity feature. I don't know if municipalities are being asked to support more like women-owned or minority businesses. You can search by that feature, and it's really simple. So it's just a drop-down menu from the list. So under classifications, again, the security it's called ECS Container Instances Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So I don't know. We don't want to hold any P cards on here or anything like that. So there's a video. There's simple steps to set it up. I'm going to send you the frequently asked questions, Jennifer, and I can send that video as well if you want to. But the first move is to get onto the website, and especially if you haven't been on it in a while, we have new protocol set because of this iBuy system. So we're kind of weeding out the people that haven't been on in years, and people saying, Janet, I can't get back in. And I'll say, all right, well, have you been on the website in a while? So you just might have to log in twice to get your credentials. And there were some hiccups at first, but I think we've worked all that out now so that you shouldn't have any problems getting on it. And then we have somebody that's an iBuy technician, for lack of a better word, and it's just basically iBuy@mhec.net. If you have any questions, Heather Ludden is our former contract manager, and now she's managing this whole program, and she's going to be the one that does the administrative training and all that. So I just kind of wanted to say, here's a great new tool we have. One of the reasons we did it is, especially the reason is member feedback. There's other platforms out there that aren't as simple to use and search. So I think that people are going to find this a very easy tool. If you shop online, which I have a little problem, I will admit, then you can use this. I have to ship things when my husband's not home. No, so I'm kidding. But anyway, we've really built a lot into this, and we really hope that people take a look at it. I'm happy to come down at some point and help. You know, if you want me to come to your town, I can do. At this point, I will have been trained enough to do like a group setting, and you know, and I'm not going to have all the answers, but I hope to have most of them. So. With that, are there any questions?
Yes, I do. I have a lot of questions. And maybe a lot of this could probably be answered in the frequently asked questions, but I figured maybe you know. So say I want my, you know, internal departments, because I'm already on my way. I'm going to set up a training like immediately for my departments and whatnot, because I think this will be a great tool, another option, and whatnot. As far as setting up logins, obviously I have one for Barnstable County, and then how would that work to have like users and buyers under that, or does everybody create their own? How does that work?
Everybody could create their own, but you could also give us a list of people that you want us to set up. There's, I mean, there's a registration form right on. If you go to the iBuy site, if you want to. Let me see if I'm not going to try to share it because, you know, we don't have luck there. But basically, if you go to the MHEC website and you click on that iBuy and you apply for the login, it's as simple as that. So, and then when you set up administrative level, then you would have the ability to say, this person has, it's a whole feature. Like this person has administrative control. This one can only shop, and then they have to transfer their cart. So it's pretty robust for a free platform. So
it sounds like, and I may be wrong, it sounds like there's some sort of like workflow approvals. So it's called transfer cart. So you might have to give the one, however many people you want to give that transfer card to somebody who doesn't have a P card or a PO access to do that
to actually place the order. And they can oversee what other, so that's why it's good to go to that training. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback. I don't know if you're hearing that, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Do them.
So yeah, you can hear, you can hear, I can't hear anyway. Yeah, there is that level of training, but that comes with that, with Heather, which she would set it up with you. I've already got people going to her because, you know, she's gonna be the one that can kind of get it going to, and we're not calling it workflow, unfortunately. I think it would be, I think people know it's called transfer card, but
Okay.
it does give that capability.
Okay.
So it's
Awesome.
kind of nice. It's a nice feature. But you could also, if you don't want to do that, you could say, yeah, you can buy whatever you want because these are all vetted contracts. That's the best part of this, I think, is that you can shop on contracts that qualify under Massachusetts 30B.
Right.
So,
right.
so
Exactly.
all of these are vetted, all the vendors are vetted. You know, we have a very robust uh, bid process. I feel bad for our vendors, but one thing I will tell you though, the one thing, you know, that we're working on is, and you probably have difficulty too, getting minority and women-owned businesses, veterans, is we're working with the New England Minority Council, and there's a lot more words to that group, but to basically break down barriers so we can add more suppliers. We finding that they're not really responding to our RFPs, probably because they're ridiculously long and complicated. So we're trying to figure out how we can minimize the aggravation with these people and get more people and help these people to get on contract. So that's always going to be a work in process. And every contract meeting I'm in, that's what they're talking about. How do we make this more robust for, you know, to make it easier? Because, you know, we have colleges and municipalities and everybody's getting asked to do this.
Right.
So trying to make it a little easier.
So if somebody wanted to set up a training and kind of implement this system in their own, you know, municipality and whatnot, would they contact you? Would that be the best way to start? Or
They could contact me, or they could just say I buy at mhec.net. But just go through me. It's probably going to be the easiest. Although I have a long last name, J. Garabedian at mhec.net. It's phonetic. If anybody learned phonics back in the, you know, first grade, they don't teach it anymore. But J. Garabedian, GARABEDIAN at mhec.net. And that way I can know and kind of schedule it because, you know, and yeah, get the training, because I think that even if you don't use it at first, I would just go in and make it. I'll be honest with you. The day it was rolled out, I'm like, I'm trying this thing before I talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I have an innate distrust of technology because I know. But this one, so I placed two different orders. One, I placed a personal order because I wanted to buy a printer for another location. And I bought a bunch of supplies. And you get a confirmation, and I ordered through Staples, and I got it my product the next day. So I was really happy that happened, because I got the, I think, and I kind of worked some kinks out with Staples because they weren't getting my personal order correctly or something. So anyway, it's worked out, and now we're going to be introducing new contracts to that, and all of our members, I mean, all of our suppliers are going to have to be on this one way or another. A lot of them can't afford to put a punch out, you know, together. So, but the nice part is you can find those people and you can still get a quote from them. So, you know, you quickly, and then you can keep track of those quotes, and you can order right from them when you're ready.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice tool.
Are there any other questions out there? I have a bad habit of always being one with 100 million. So see if you want to give somebody else a chance. Anybody? Yeah.
Well,
No?
well, I plan on being on the Cape all summer too, so. So if I can. So if you need me to come to your office and talk to you about contracts, I didn't really do a contracts update because I thought this would take up too much time anyway. But we've got a lot going on, but and a lot of people changes in our organization, new people and retirees and blah blah blah. So
yeah, we had a hand raised. Somebody is out there. Ruby, what's going on?
Janet, thank you very much for the presentation. Jennifer, thank you so much for inviting Janet to be here. I thought the video was great, and I think that it's definitely worth looking into. The town of Yarmouth doesn't currently use that particular platform. But it's definitely, we're always interested in all opportunities and making purchasing easier. So thank you very much for your time today. And could you, Jennifer, possibly share the link to that video so we can all watch it again and get a better understanding of what we're looking at and the steps to get there?
And I will say it gets updated sort of regularly as more things are going to be added. So, this is the beginning, but if there's always going to be questions, because we keep getting different questions from people, so we add them to the FAQs. So those, if you're not getting the answers that you need, they will be there. Or just ask us, and we'll probably add it, because if it's important to you, it's important to somebody else.
If you actually go to the mhec.net site, the link to the video is right there on that main page. But I'll still definitely share it though. That way it's, yeah.
And if you hit the iBuy Marketplace, right under the iBuy Marketplace, it says About iBuy Marketplace. That's where the frequently asked questions are.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's easy. It's right there, and I am in Yarmouth, so I can walk to the town offices. So I'm so I can't tell you how excited I am to have a place on the Cape. It's my lifelong dream. So anyway, thank you all very much.
Thanks, Janet. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Do you want me to drop off now? I'll drop off. So
Yep, that's up to you. We're gonna talk about combines now.
I'll drop off. I don't want to.
Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Alrighty. So just give me 1 second. So do you want to set up over there in front of your desk? And
I was doing some research. No, I was doing some research.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, and I think you should be able to turn the camera on from there. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Oh yeah, so do you want to,
So today's kind of an easy buying day. Like, what sort of tools do we have out there to make purchasing quick and easy? I know which ones my internal departments do. All of them could be. Do you currently use combines and punch outs? Okay. I'm just getting set up here on this side.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's a little unnerving. I'm not seeing myself. I just wanted to say good morning to everybody. Jen, thank you so much for asking us to come in and meet your group. It is a pleasure. I may be familiar to some of you, and if so, hello. For new people, my name is Patricia Burke. I work for the state's Purchasing Office, Operational Services Division, and I'm your local government account manager. I'm joined today by a representative from our training team, Renee O'Rourke, who is subject matter expert in all things combine. She's a fantastic trainer, and she's going to take us through this morning some of the conveniences and ease of use associated with our punch-out ordering system. So for those of you who may or may not be familiar, OSD procures more than 100 contracts representing about 1.5 million goods and services. Among those contracts, we have, I believe it's 36 or 37 vendors whose product offering really lends itself to an e-commerce site. They have the ability to provide us with a beautiful online ordering system, visual in nature. And as I said, those number approximately 37 catalogs presently. And so you might be asking yourself, well, that's great, there's a contract, but what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you may be the advantageous terms and conditions that the state has negotiated on your behalf. All of the terms and conditions associated with any of our contracts can be found in our contract user guides, and those are published publicly from our landing page of the website. And so we would say to you, whether you are an active Combis user or you may or may not have good familiarity with our contracts, definitely there's a lot of public information available to help you navigate. Are these contracts and choices, good for my community? Do they render benefits that maybe we're not having today, or provide solutions that we need answers to? So the punch-out catalogs lend themselves to kind of those commodity purchases, pick and ship items, quick delivery, no services involvement. So you'll see a broad list of vendors who are familiar to you, likely. Your traditional office supply providers, companies like WB Mason, CAM Office Services, GA Blanco, School Specialties, Staples, Veritev for paper, Lakeshore Learning for art and instructional. Over to other domains, if you have interest in public works or public safety, you'll see familiar companies like Fastenal, Granger, FW Web, Wilcom Scientific, MSC Industrial. So you may be doing business with some of these companies today, which is fantastic, but you may or may not be actually receiving state procured contract pricing and those associated benefits. If you have a Combis account and you'd like to join, to buy in this manner, tunneling in through Combis, accessing our punch-out catalogs will absolutely guarantee correct pricing, as well as the extension of those, value-added benefits, such as, of course, you'll never pay sales tax, but I'm thinking of things like no charge for shipping, return policies, perhaps sample goods to try things out before you make a purchasing commitment. So becoming more familiar with the contracts, the resources available to you. We are completely here to help you. I'm dedicated to helping enhance your knowledge and your understanding of these contracts. It's not something you're going to master overnight. Some of you may have been, kind of in and out for the past 3 or 4 years, and with varying degrees of familiarity. It does require a bit of an investment of time, but it works like a champion. Billions of dollars of, public business has gone through the system predictably and dependably. So as I said, Renee is here today to show us those online catalogs. I think you'll find them to be very easy to use. We definitely recommend that if you're going to use the contracts to, learn these very few and easy techniques. If you're sitting there saying, well, I don't know if I have an account, or I'm not sure, there's been some change in my community, please reach out to me. I will provide, or Jen, if not already, has my contact information. I also have materials here, that at some point we can get to you, but we'll show you the online resources even better, save the earth. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Renee, who's going to show you those punch-out catalogs. Thank you.
Good morning. So I'm going to be in a training region, but for you, you would have gone to www.combis.com. And without even logging in, those resources that Trish talked about are here, local government resources. And if I click on it, it brings me to their profile, but also a bunch of links. So the reference sheet, the statewide contract reference sheet, this will list all of our statewide contracts, and we update it every 2 months, and we break it down into categories. So this will list every statewide contract that we have. And then the other handout that she talked about was purchasing from punch-out catalogs. And if I click on that, you'll see when I go to purchase that we have over 30 vendors that have created a punch-out catalog for us, and it's like online shopping. But when I go live, you're going to see that it's not in alphabetical order. So to me, this is my favorite handout because it will list them. As she mentioned, you have the office administration. It will list all of the vendors, the categories in the middle, and then the statewide contract is on the right-hand side. So depending on what you need, you can either search by vendor or you could search by the statewide contract on the right. And so you have the public safety. If you still need PPE items, there are a bunch of vendors that are on our statewide contracts that you can buy those items. And if you notice, there are some reds. So if you wanted to do business with a vendor that is certified as a Supplier Diversity Office vendor, They'll have a 2 there, and then you'll just look for that next to the vendor's name. On page 2, you have school nurse, public health, school science supplies, and again, it's, WestNet, Fisher Scientific, Cardinal Health. You have the buildings and grounds, and then you have the IT information. So again, that's another handout that you can download yourself. And then, grant funding, there is how to purchase from a punch out, there's, job aids. I'm going to go into the system. So as Trish mentioned, if you want a training, you can reach out to her. And we also have buyer training resources here. We have, you can attend a training for free at any time. And we have job aids for buyers. We have a help desk here if you needed help using combis. But I'm going to log into the training region. When you log in as a buyer, this is what your homepage looks like. And the punch out catalogs are at the top right. There is a little gear, and when you roll your mouse over, it says settings. And I'm going to choose G2B punch out, government to business punch out. And when you do that, it brings you to the shopping page, and it knows based on me logging in that I work for the police department. I work in headquarters, and then it automatically populates my shipping address and my billing address. Now it's here that it will list all of those vendors, those 30 plus vendors who have created a website just for us. And when you go to that website, it lists all the statewide contract items and the pricing. I'm gonna, we don't have all of them in the training region, so I'm gonna do a demo of WB Mason. And then I'm going to click on punch out. And what happens is you punch out to a vendor's catalog that they created for us. So it looks like their normal WB Mason website, but it says, Welcome Commonwealth of Massachusetts Consumers. It knows that I'm using OFF 47, which is our office supplies, recycled paper, and envelopes contract. So you could, like any website, you could search by an item, you could search by an item description, you can create a favorites, just like any website, it's like their normal WB Mason website. Or you could search by category. So let's say if I did office supplies. So they have the most popular categories. They have featured brands, accessorize your desk, organize your workday. But I'm going to pretend that I want a stapler. So if I click on the staplers. And like any website, you can sort. So do you want like a paper punch? Do you want staple removers? Do you want a stapler? Do you want staples? So there are 70 items that are staplers. So I'll click on that. So that will filter out everything else. And like before, you could sort by the brand, the color, the price, the feature, the material. So I like this one. It's $8.75. Actually, so with our office supplies orders, it's next day delivery. But we all know that there is, sometimes some delay. So if you really want the stapler for like tomorrow, do you see how all the other ones on my screen say next business day delivery? Of course, I picked this one that doesn't have that. So if it wasn't as important to me, then I could click on this gray one that has the orange because it doesn't say next day delivery, but I'll still receive it. But if you really wanted it next day, you would make sure that you chose one of the items that says next day delivery. So let's say I'll do that one, and this one is $11.39. So I'm going to add one to my cart. And if you notice below the yellow, it does say add to list. So if you wanted to add it to a favorites, you could. But I'm going to add it to my cart. And then you could either continue to shop or you could check out. But I have one item at $11.39, so I'm going to check out. And what it does is it brings me back into Combis. And it creates, this is an internal document, release punch out requisition, and it's in progress. And it fills in all of these fields for you. Combis is a tab-based system, but it brings you to the general tab, and it fills it all in. But I would change the short description because it says G2B from WB Mason. So I personally would say maybe it's a black stapler. Because it's an e-procurement system. So in 6 months, you could look through all of your orders if you were wondering, oh, I wonder what type of stapler I ordered last time. I really like it. One of the other fields that's optional is the alternate ID. And it's for any type of accounting information. If you have an internal encumbrance number, an internal PO, internal rec number, whatever you put in this field will print on the invoice. So I'm just going to put accounting information, but you don't have to put anything there. And then when you've made changes, you want to make sure you save it. When you do a punch out, you can go from the general tab and skip everything else and go straight to the summary because it fills in everything for you. Because if I click on the items tab, it has that stapler. When I click on the vendor tab, it has WB Mason. So it knows what I did on that previous screen. So I'm going to go to the summary tab and you would review everything. And at the bottom, so you could set up an approval path in our system. So, you know, it is a robust system. So if you wanted to have an approval path, you can have it. If you don't need it. So when I click on submit for approval, because I'm in training, it knows that I don't need an approval path. So I get to do automatic approval because it knows that, so I know that I am able to purchase this and I have the correct permissions. So I'm going to save and continue. And then in a couple seconds, your page refreshes and my status in the upper right changed to gone to PO. And then in the yellow box, I have a new purchase order. And if I were to click on that, I have a release purchase order and it has a status of sent. So this has been sent to the vendor for processing. And because our office supplies have next day delivery, I know that I will receive the stapler tomorrow because also it had that little link on the picture that it was next day delivery. But if you move down, it would have like the vendor contact information. It would have, you could print a copy of the of this purchase order if you wanted. You could click on the item information. So everything is here for you. Does anybody have any questions, or Trish, do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, I hope that provides new audience members with, validation. It's pretty quick and simple. Most of us are familiar with online ordering. Like we heard previously, most of us do have a little problem with that. But, again, tunneling in through Combis gives you access to a broad range of great companies whose catalogs are there for the taking. It ensures proper pricing. Everything is released. Your purchase orders, once approved, are released directly to your vendors, date and time stamped, again, providing you have the authority to make those purchases. If anybody's sitting there that has an interest to learn more, again, please reach out. We're happy to coordinate within your town or community additional trainings. As Renee mentioned, the state offers a wonderful list of pre-scheduled webinars through our training division. And again, they're subject matter experts, so they're fantastic. So we just encourage the dialogue and the ability to help you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate it. All right. Do you have any questions for ladies from OSB? Still curious how many people use the Combis punch outs, but I'm sure Trish actually probably knows that more than I do.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along to just a couple of things. So the other thing that we had on our agenda today is we're still looking for a speaker chair. I have kind of taken on that role a little bit of setting everybody up, and just with everything going on, it's a little time consuming, so it's a bit much. So if someone would like to volunteer to be part of the speaker committee or even be more involved in CCAPPO, feel free to reach out to me. I don't want to put anybody on the spot right now, especially, having such a quiet group. But I did want to kind of throw that out there and kind of ask for help, essentially. So finally, I did want to give everybody a update on our county bids at the moment. So anyone who's been following the fuel, currently where we stand, I feel like it changes daily. Currently where we stand, everybody should have already submitted to me if they were going to go with the OEP differential or the NYMEX differential for their fuel oil and their gasoline and diesel. Nobody locked in any gallons on the day of the bid, so right now those are the options that we're looking at. And once I enter into that contract, which should be at the next commissioners meeting next week, then from there we can start working with our vendors and start, especially for those that want to lock in pricing, start kind of following the market, because I'm sure everybody's been reading that that gas prices are expected to rise again. So I'm wondering if for those who want to fix, gallons, if we should get kind of a bulk of it now just to get you through the summer months and whatnot, but that's something we can discuss at a later time. But I did want to get this contract ready and signed for everybody. So that's the update on the fuel and gasoline. The paper bid, as anyone who's on a participant in that bid, it came in at double from last year. As I spoke to WB Mason, I have a call set up with them tomorrow. I said I can go on Combis right now and use their punch out catalog and get it for $15 cheaper per case. So I was very disappointed at the bid that was submitted from WB Mason. It just didn't quite make sense to me. So I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, and if I have to go through Combis and buy it for everyone, then we'll do that. It just didn't quite make sense. Yeah, so that's the update on the papers. There's not really much of an update. And then the water chemicals, I think I've heard from most of my entities by now, so that will be awarded next week. So that one's good to go. Currently, we have out to bid the C&D disposal and the municipal solid waste. I do have an addendum to issue out. We had a town that unfortunately was missing, just a lot of things going on. So I apologize for that. And then one that wanted to join. So luckily we're still in time to kind of add them in. And I think otherwise everything else is my internal departments. The website is still in the process of being updated. I was hoping that by now it would have been all set so that everybody could access their contracts and any information that they need as they start putting in their purchase orders for the new fiscal year. I'm hoping that they get it done in the next couple of weeks, and I'll be sure to send out an update, obviously, with that. I do apologize for not having the newsletter. Usually after a meeting, I try and have a newsletter with a recap of the meeting, any information that our presenters had, but there's just too much right now, so I dropped that ball, unfortunately. So I'll give a double newsletter this time around. And that's really it for me. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? I'll just say hi. Bueller.
Hi, Jennifer, it's Roby.
Hi.
Sorry, you probably just said it, but in regards to the C&D bid, did you have any questions from any of the vendors?
Not yet.
Okay, I've just received a call from one of the vendors, and I'm gonna assume that if they have questions, they should be asking those through the portal. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, please have them go through the portal, because that's gonna be the easiest way to streamline everything.
Okay, while I'm talking to you, they're actually calling my cell phone.
Oh, there you go. We'll let them know.
Need to do through the portal.
All right, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, and that way you guys can go and get on with your day. Thank you for joining me today. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, again, I'll try and send out all of that information of our presenters, so that way, if you're looking to implement either procurement solution, it's free, it's available to you, might make your life a little bit easier. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that.
That's all I have for today, so.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn if nobody has anything else.
Motion to adjourn. This is Roby. And thank you all for the presentations today. Very, very, very helpful.
I'll second it. It's Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys.